So currently here, I have an up and running Incorta instance. I have here as well a couple of dashboards. So let me go ahead and start by demonstrating one of them. So you can go to this product profitability. And then I can see inside the dashboard that I have multiple insights. So the single insight we'll be focusing on in our demo today is this one, the top 10 products by profit. Let me get inside it to edit it and view its details. Okay, so as we can see here, we have only two columns used in this insight. First, we have as a grouping dimension, the product column, which is coming here from this business schema and this view. And then the other column is profit, which is coming again from the same business schema and view and a different column. So now we would like to see in more detail what does this view depend on. So if I go over to the business schema tab and go inside the sales business schema and then my sales view, I can see here that it has multiple columns, including the two columns that we saw earlier used inside our insights. And the source of our view columns here are coming from multiple sources. For example, I have some coming from the physical schema audit, and some are coming from the physical schema sales, and even some are based on a formula which computes some data. So if we head over down the road more and go over to the physical schemas, we can see here in the schema tab that we have those two physical schemas, sales and audit. And if I go visit the sales schema, I can see here that I have multiple tables, each with its own set of columns. So now our goal is to feed all this metadata and lineage information into Informatica. So the way to do so is by creating a resource inside Informatica EDC and then run it, and this will be it. So I have already ahead of time created one prerequisite, which is creating a custom resource type. So if I go over here, we can see that I have my single custom resource type, which is to be called Incorta Scanner. So as we can see here, this is the only resource type we have. It's called Incorta_Scanner, and it's based on the Informatica model, which is com.infa.ldm.relation. So now, next, what we have to do is create a resource using this custom resource type. And I've already indeed also, I had as well created the resource. So let us now view this resource and look at its configurations. So we're just naming it Incorta and using the custom resource type that we have created. And then what we will be using is that we will be running a pre-script. And what this means is that the resource executes a script, and that this script is responsible for generating the data or the metadata and then feeding it or loading it and publishing it into the catalog UI. Okay, so we have just to specify three configurations. The first one is the directory, which contains the script, and I have it here on this path on the machine on which Informatica EDC is running. And next, I have to define what exactly is the script name, and we have it here. It's named Incorta scan.sh. It is just a bash script that under the hood executes and runs a jar or a Java program. And then I have to pass just two other parameters to the bash script. First one is the name of a properties files, which has some configurations needed by the jar to operate. And then next, we are agreeing to some disclaimer. Okay, and then finally, we here specify what is the path of the output file, which will contain all the CSVs which Informatica EDC uses to extract its metadata. And here we can find it exists inside this folder and then in a zip file, which has the name Incorta Scanner, which then EDC can unzip and load the CSVs from. And then next we have here just simply we're using a medium memory resource. And then we don't need to have any other further configurations. Okay, so let me go ahead and run this resource. Okay, so we can see that it is currently queued. So let us just give it a couple of seconds for EDC to execute this resource. Okay, so the resource has now completed. Now let us head over to the catalog UI. Let me just log in. Okay, so as you can see, we have here multiple resources. One of them is the Incorta resource that we have just created. So as we can see here, we have our database with its multiple schemas and tables and views. So the other part that Incorta as well does is that it can also load all the lineage information and feed it from Incorta to Informatica. And so the way for that is by creating another resource which is called Incorta lineage. It uses the resource type which already exists and comes built in with Informatica, which is called custom lineage. And the way it works is by uploading a file called lineage.csv, which has all the lineage information from Incorta, and then Informatica extracts it and can view it inside of the catalog UI. We don't need any other custom configurations. And actually, the way the Incorta lineage resource is automated, since it needs a CSV file, is that inside the script of the Incorta resource, which is this script, we have implemented it so as it is responsible for always communicating with EDC. And once the jar program, which generates all the CSVs, has completed, using APIs, it communicates with EDC so as it uploads the new lineage file to this existing resource, and as well it starts executing it so that it keeps updated following the running of the Incorta resource. So if we now go over back to the catalog UI and start previewing some of our metadata and lineage, for example, let me go inside to our schema. I'm expecting now to find one particular schema which Incorta creates, which is called __ dashboards. This schema contains all our dashboards which exist inside of Incorta. So let us see them all. So those are the schemas, or sorry, the dashboards that we saw here inside Incorta. So one of them is the product profitability dashboard, which we saw a single insight from it earlier. And we can see here that it's showing me the 7 insight that exists inside this dashboard. And the single insight that we saw earlier, it was named the top 10 products by profit. So let us head inside it and see its lineage and impact. So let me just expand everything to get the full picture. So as we can see here, we have everything that has been fed from Incorta into Informatica. We have here the name of our insight, and it exists directly inside its enclosing dashboard. And then we have here all the lineage information mapping the insight to the columns from the business view inside Incorta's business schema. And then we have as well the lineage mapping the business view columns to the actual physical schemas. So as we saw earlier inside Incorta, we were using data from the sales physical schema, from the sales physical table and the products physical table. And those are the 3 physical columns that the business view columns were based on. So that was it. Thank you for listening.